I am Claudia Rosu. I am a software crafter at Mosaic Labs and Mosaic Course. For the last 7 years, I have been working in web development with Java, and nowadays I'm working with Groovy, Grace, and Spoke. In my spare time, I am active in communities. I like to organize community events where all of us have the chance to share ideas, experiences, so that we can work better and learn from each other. I will give you a bit of background of what I have been working for the last 2 years. I have a client in Belgium. He's a doctor. He wants to build, with my help, an innovative e-health applications for his doctors so that they consult and treat their patients better and faster. He's not a product owner, he's not a business analyst, he just got the ideas and the need. And together we have to discover the details of every feature of our product using the development life cycle that has evolved over time. Right now it looks like this. Is it familiar to you? It's a Kanban board. How many of you are using Kanban? Oh, almost half of you. It's a normal one. It has the normal columns, next, analysis, in progress, reviewing, testing, done. But it has one difference, one specific particularity. Can you spot it? Yeah? Yeah. No, here, at the end here, said that the in progress column is split in two. And we will discover on the way why it is like that right now, because it hasn't been like that from the beginning. I am working in a company that is promoting tests and automated tests. So I knew from the beginning that it will be unavoidable to get away without writing tests. And we started with a simple strategy. Simple, right? Are you using something familiar in your testing? Okay. Kind of. Almost. You are not sure. So, I will just say a few words about it. Unit tests are the most ones that I am writing in order to test isolated functions of my code. The integration tests are used for testing the integration of my application with a database or some other plugin. The acceptance tests are the ones that are a bit specific because are component tests in order to test what it happens when the request comes to the server until the data is saved in the database. The user experience tests are the ones that are testing isolated functions on the front end, and the exploratory test is what I am doing with the client for the look and feel. And we started implementing the strategy. 2 years ago, we chose to use Grace and Groovy and JUnit. We realized that unit tests can be of great help in learning these new technologies. Grace and Groovy were new to us. And we use tests for that. And since we don't have a dedicated tester in our team, they help us getting away without regression bugs. You may wonder why Groovy and Grace are. Who knows about Groovy? Okay, some of you. Groovy is the language. It's a powerful language for the JVM. It's dynamic. It has lightweight syntax. It has functional programming features. And I didn't want it, after 2 years, I don't want to get back to Java after trying Groovy. Grails is the framework. It's inspired from Ruby on Rails. It uses conventional configuration in order to increase developers' productivity and other features also. 2.5 years have passed, and we know the technologies right now. We still want to get away with application bugs. We still don't have a dedicated tester in the team. But the code has grown, so the test has grown also, and we have to maintain them. Another future test will come with the future features. So we want the power of tests, but we don't want them to become a burden for us. How to do that? How are you doing that in order to continue testing? Yes?
Treat the test code base as being like code base. Is it the same amount of respect and the same amount of rules?
This is, yeah, I like it, yeah? Okay. We chose two ideas, two strategies, let's say. Minimize their number. Because at some point, it was, for me, it was more than 40% of time maintaining and writing the test. So we said we have to minimize their number. So we have to maximize what we are not building. Because as we know, sometimes we tend to build functionalities and features that are not used. We want to discover that. And with a good software design, time and experience has proven that a good software design will limit the number of your unit tests mostly. And we want to enjoy writing them. Sometimes it's hard to write them, sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's quite enjoyable. For that, we have discovered Spoke. Spoke, it's a testing framework, like JUnit, but it comes with a lightweight syntax, a BDD-like syntax. And with Groovy, together with Groovy, it makes writing the test quite enjoyable. Do you see? Okay, the code. These are two tests written in Spoke. As you can see, the lightweight syntax and the BDD syntax, you can almost read them. So it will be easy to maintain them also. Right now, we are using Spoke for writing them, and I think we will be using Spoke for quite a long time. We are using them for other things. We are using them for analysis, we are using them for software design, and for checking the definition of done. This is what what the power of test means to me. And I will show you that in practice in the following minutes. Any questions until now? Yes?
A question. You said that you have minimized the number of tests that you
Yes.
are using, but what do you mean about the coverage? If you have some function that you not cover much, how you handle this? Because you said that you start to not write so many tests that you use the limit.
Yes. So the question was about the coverage of the code with tests, since we want to minimize their number. So we are identifying only the most risky, most important functionalities that we want to cover with our test. Because covering everything can be quite a burden and can be quite a negative productivity in product development. So we are discovering for that maximizing the work not done on discovering only the most most risky functionalities, we can be sure that we can deliver without bugs. For example, in the acceptance test, we are not covering the exceptions and the failures. We are interested only in the happy path. We are covering exceptions only in unit tests. For practice, I have chosen a small functionality, a simple functionality. This is what my client thinks. It's simple, just searching patients in a database of 10,000 patients. We start the analysis with a half an hour meeting when he comes to me with a user interface built in PowerPoint. And he says he wants to see the patients filtered by name, first name, last name, birth date, city, and doctor. He just said that he wants to search also by partial first name and last name and city. And that's it. It's just half an hour meeting and I have to get back to my code and solve it. But from experience, I know that I have to do more analysis with unit tests, JavaScript unit tests. I have a lot of code of JavaScript, and the unit tests are helpful in discovering those details of user experience that have not been discussed during the initial analysis meeting. Like that when the doctor is typing a first name, all the patient matching will be displayed. When the doctor is changing the birth date, all the patient matching are displayed. This was not discussed. Acceptance tests. These are the second type of test I'm using during analysis. They will all fail, and I will write them in the analysis phase. Why? In order to catch all the use cases for this feature. The client will come with 2 or 3 use cases, but after writing all the acceptance tests, I had a list of 12 because I thought that we have to think what patients to display. All the patients for all the doctors or only for the doctor that is logged in. I have to display all the active patients, the inactive ones, both of them. We didn't discuss this in the initial meeting. So in the end, we have another meeting where I'm showing the final user interface where we can see what I have discovered using the test. The client confirms, and I am confident now that I can start writing the code. I wrote some code before also for writing the acceptance test and the front-end test, but I will get back to my front-end test again. I'm doing a top-down development, and I'm starting with the user experience code, and then with the controller code and the service code. I have a lot of JavaScript, so I know that a good design will help me maintaining and extending this code easily. Using the test, I am easily extracting code that can be reused later on, like a control for such as the type, or a control for submit on change. I will use them in other features that will come later on. I'm passing to the controller. Here, sometimes I'm doing tests for development, sometimes sometimes I'm doing TDD. Along with T.A.K.E, I can easily spot that the controller has three responsibilities. Converting the request parameters, calling the search service, and displaying, updating the results on the page. After doing all the unit tests of the controller, and usually all the controller method is just 5 or 6 lines of code, I can go down and implement the real search service. For the search service method, which is not a simple method, I have just one unit test. This is just one unit test. So one unit test for a service method that is searching patients by name, but by address, by city, by birth rate, and by doctor also. You may wonder how is enough just one unit test for this method. TDD and T.A.K.E told me that I have to extract some code in a separate object, like a patient query builder, where the actual filters are built, filters that can be later on reused by other features and can be unit tested by itself in isolation. So, in the end, on the long, we will have less number of unit tests. With the last service unit test done, implemented, I can now, I have the courage to see if I have finished. Still I have something to implement. It's quite easy for me. How is it for you? How do you test that you have finished?
We take the definition of done out and we look at it.
Okay.
And we say it's done.
And it works? It works like this?
Depending if we're looking for done or for done.
Oh, so you have two
If
definitions
it's
of...
done or ready for production.
Okay.
That's the joke, an inside joke.
I am doing that also. So I am doing that also, but in order to be really, really sure, I am running all this. Because I have them, and they are my friends, and they will tell me if I have finished or not. First, the unit test. When they pass, the integration test. When they pass, the acceptance test. And when they pass, the user experience test. Usually, they are all green. And with confidence, I can call my client and tell him that I am ready for the demo. I don't have to prepare for the demo. It's quite easy because I have the report of my test. I know what to show him. I am showing the report. He's green, he's happy, he sees 12 use cases being built, and he realizes that the feature was not so simple as he thought in the beginning, and that we developers had to work a lot for building it. He's happy. He's happy and doing just some last manual test for the look and feel. It feels good, usually. So, at the end of the week, I have a happy customer because we have improved our collaboration and we have maximized the work not done for that story, so we have finished sooner. He is seeing the feature delivered sooner than he thought. Because we have a faster development life cycle with every improvement that the tests are helping us to do. And I'm happy also, of course. I have power to think what to do in order to improve more my life of working with the code, with the test, and how to improve our collaboration. I said that I'm getting on without bugs, right? I said that. It's almost true. Because we have some little bugs that appeared when the client decided to do more intensive exploratory testing. We thought and we realized that by using functional tests, we will reduce their number. Are you using functional tests? Automated functional tests?
What is a functional test in your definition?
In my definition, it's can the user do this? So can the user push this button?
No, I mean, like, is it a test against a running system, a deployed system, or is it just a unit test?
No, it's not. It's an end-to-end test.
So with a running system?
Yes. Yeah, with the running system, it's the test that is checking that when the user is clicking that button, the data is saved to the database and the page is updated on the way back. Yeah, it's an end-to-end with the application running. Yes?
Yeah, in my experience, this kind of test costs a lot to
Yes.
set up,
Yes,
and it's
I know.
super fragile.
Yes.
So we don't.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. This is why in the beginning we decided to do the acceptance test without the user interface. Just what happens from the controller until the database, and that's it. But we still are missing some bugs on the way. So we thought, let's try functional tests. We looked on some technologies that are available on the market, and we chose JEP. We are just at the start of the way of using JEP. JEP comes with the power of WebDriver, JUnit, page object modeling, Groovy, and Spoke. He is helping us writing these functional tests, which can be large, more easily. And using the page object modeling, we can reuse code in order not to build so fragile functional tests. Here we have some code of such a functional test. As you can see again, Spoke syntax, BDD-like syntax, and tests that can be easily understood by a non-technical person. And again, in order not to have so much functional tests, not to be a burden, we are choosing to build functional tests only for the most important functionalities and only for the happy path. It's just a matter of deciding to find the right balance of what to test and what not to test. My job here as a speaker for this session will be completed if next time when you want to choose between writing tests or not writing tests, just take a minute and think. If you can use them for preventing side effects, if you can use them for doing a better analysis of what you have to deliver, if you can use them to get rapid feedback than just running the application testing manually and so on, and doing a better software design of your code. In this way,